Hi everybody and welcome to Asia's Cozy Crochet Corner. So in the corner we've been making hats and scarves and I decided to jump on camera and make a simple, easy, quick hat tutorial with you guys. This hat takes about I say it's a day hat. It does not take long to do at all. It's a simple ridged hat, ribbed hat, and I absolutely love it. It's classic. You can it could be for a female or a male. This hat just never goes out of style in my opinion, and no matter what I do, I always incorporate this hat into my hat season time. So with a simple measuring tape and some other items that we'll get to in a minute, we're going to make this hat right here. I'm going to duplicate it because I have enough, and this color is I'm really just loving this color right now. So I want to make another one just like this. So this is going to be for the adults. If you haven't, check out my one for kids. And let me show you, other than your measuring tape, what you're going to need in order to make this hat. Okay, everybody. So what we're gonna need for this is I'm using Burnett Super Value, and this is right here dark gray. I absolutely love the dark gray, so I'm going with the dark gray. And like I said, I'm just making hats, and I wanted to sit in with you guys and make a hat. And this right here, I just love this color, and this is one thing you'll need. You can use any kind of yarn, as long as you're working with medium for yarn for this. And I got a little puffer ball here. I want to make this one in the exact same way as I made the one that I just showed you. So I'm going to use the rest of this. Now I've already made one hat with it, so I'm going to use the rest of this to show you how to make this hat. And I'm going to put another one of these on there because I kind of like it. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to make one identical to that one. So little fox fur pom poms. You get them from Amazon, and that's where I get a lot of mine. And it has the little elastic piece right here, on which I sew it in at. You're going to need your yarn needle, okay, and scissors, and you're going to need a medium. You're going to need a 5 millimeter hook to make this, okay. So let's get started with that. Okay, so let's get right into the build of it all. So if you want to make your adult size hat, and you like the size that I have made and the fit of it all, I am making mine to the length of 14 inches, okay. And because I'm constantly making this hat, I already know that it's going to take me 51 chains in order to get to that length. Now if you don't want your hat as long, then you would just need to decrease the amount that you chain. Now there's no set amount or multiple of anything, so your head is going to be as long as your chain is. All right, so I'm going to begin by adding my yarn onto my hook and chaining 51. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50, and 51. Now, the only reason why I do 51 because I want 50 half doubles because we were working in half doubles. So I want 50 half doubles. So we're going to lose one of these chains on the turn. So that's why I do 51. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to skip this first one and we're going to work into the second one and we're going to make a half double. Okay. So yarn over, go into the next chain from the hook and pull up and pull through all three. Yarn over, we're going into the next chain, grab our yarn, pull through, yarn over, and pull through all three. We're going into the next one, so we're going in, grabbing our yarn, coming out, pulling up, 3 chains on our hook. We're going to pull through all three. And this is a half double, and the whole project will be done in half doubles. So we're going to go through each one of the, and make each stitch and put a half double in each and every stitch. At the end of it, you should have 50 half doubles. And every row from here on out should have 50 half doubles in it. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way down to the end, and I'll see you there. Okay, now I'm at my last half double here. And when I get to my last half double, I want to chain one and I want to turn my work. Yarn over, and I want to place my first stitch. Now if you look at it this way, you see here's the stitches right here where we normally would go in to say if this was a double. We're not working in them. We're going to work into the back loops only for this project. So we want to turn your work slightly like this. Now when you turn your work slightly like this, you see the back ends. It looks like a V. It looks like a V. Now you want to go in between that V and make your half double there. Now that chain one, remember, counts as no stitch, so we're going right back into the first stitch. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to look at the second one right here. And when we look at it from the top, we see the V, and we're going to go in between there to just get the back loops. Okay, and the next one, again, we're looking from the top angle and not the side. This is the side. We're going to twist it just a little bit and go in the top, but only in the back loop. But we're going only in that back loop. So not the front, but the side. I mean, not the side, but we're going to look at the top. And we're just going to go into that back loop only. Now, if we look at our hat, that is what creates these rises right here. because we're just going in back loops only. So that's when it was creating this texture that we have going on here. Okay, just going in the back loops only. And so we'll keep doing that, going in the back loops only. Remember, look at it from the top, not from the side. And go in between that V. And we're going to do this all the way down this row and every single row after this. Now, this is pretty much just a one row repeat, because you're going to do this the whole entire length of the piece. Now, we're trying to get to the adult size. We're doing the adult size. So we want to do this till we have 22 inches, okay? This is super stretchy. This hat is super, super stretchy. So it can go from one size, or one size kind of fits most, because this will stretch. Okay. So we want to keep doing this until we have 22 inches. Very simple hat. I'm gonna pick up my speed and get to the end of this, because there's one other thing that we want to do, because we want clean edges, because we will be flipping up one of the edges. The other end will get sewn up to close off our hat, but the other end will be flipped up to our brim. So we want to make sure our ends are very, very clean. So where we're putting in back loop only all the way down this line, we want to do something different in our last stitch. Okay, so I've made it now back to my last stitch. So in this last stitch, I don't want to just do back loop only, because if I do back loop only, and I'm going to do it just so you can see, you see how this is pulled out, then your ends are going to look like that, and you don't want that at the end. So on our last stitch, you will be going through the top too, okay, just like a regular stitch. So you will look at it from here, and that space right there, you will go through that, because then your ends won't look like that. Okay, and chain one and turn your work. Chain one doesn't count for that first stitch, so remember, we're not looking at it this way, we're looking at it from the top, and we will be going into that first stitch back loop only, then the second one back loop only. So you want to have your piece facing you, so where you can see the V, it's V's. and you want to go through just the back end of that. And again, you're going to do that for 22 inches. Me, because I've done this quite a few times, it's going to take me 46 rows to get there. So go 46 rows, pull out your measuring tape and measure and make sure. Now, one thing I forgot to do with you guys, once we established our first row, I wanted to show you measuring tape. That this was 14 inches, okay? So this is 14 inches here. And if you do not like the 14 inches, you don't want it that tall, then you can always decrease it just by putting whatever in the found. If you want 13, if you want 12, you can always just do that in your foundation chain. So like I said, this is very simple. You're just going to take those same rows and you're just going to carry this out till you hit 22 inches width wise. Just back loops only. So I'm going to go to my 22 and I will see you back. Do not forget in your last stitch to go through both of the loops instead of just the back one, okay? So remember, on the last stitch you always go through both of them. That way you're edging, and you see that edging, your edging should be like that, okay? And you should constantly have 50 on every row. And if you have changed the height of your hat, then whatever existing number you have in that first row, that is what you're going to have all the way throughout the whole piece. Every row is exactly the same. Okay, so here I have all of my rows. I have made it to my destination of 22 inches. Let me prove that. I've made it to my destination of 22 inches. And you should be able to do that without a supreme stretch. Okay, you want to make sure it's laid flat, but you want to get there without a supreme stretch, okay? Because when you stretch it, and it has quite a bit of stretch to it, I'm going to 24 inches right here. And hold on, let me make sure I have my one here. And I want you to see that it will stretch. My finger's like right on the 24. I want you to be able to see it. Okay, there we go. So it stretches to 24 inches with, and you want that because that will make sure you can fit a wide variety of heads. So this is the adult, and it will reach for a 22 all the way to a 24 size head. So that's that. And it took me let's see, 46 rows in order to get there. Okay. So depending on what type of yarn you're using, or if you're just deciding to use a different hook, it may take you less. But 5 millimeter with the Burnett Super Saver took me 46 rows. Now I've done this hat in different yarns, and it may take me something else depending on. So always go by your measurements of 22 inches. Now if you know the size of your head, then you can always adjust to make more rows or less rows if you need to. But averaging this right here fits most adult sizes. So once we have our rows and everything, we've not cut off our yarn. We do not want to do that. I'm just going to simply close it now. Okay. So I'm going to close it. And I want to put it together so the ends fit. Okay. And now we're just going to slip stitch this down all the way to the end. Okay, so let's get a little closer so we can see. I'm gonna put my yarn back on my hook, and I'm gonna turn this around. Now what I want to do is just slip stitch. So I want to chain one, and I want to go into the first stitch here on this side, and I want to go into the first stitch on the other side. Grab my yarn, pull through, and now this loop here, this on our hook, we want to slip stitch through that. Okay, so I'm going to go through my next space here and my next space in the back, and the loop that's here, I want to slip stitch through that space. And we're going to do that all the way down. Go through the next one and the next one in the back, pull through and slip stitch, and our next space here, right at the top of our doubles, half doubles, and the next space in the back. Grab our yarn, pull through this one on the hook, we want to go through there, slip stitch, and we're going in the next space in the front, and we want to go through the next space in the back. Grab our yarn, pull through both spaces, and this one we want to slip stitch, pull through, and we're going to just keep doing that all the way down. It should all match up until you get to the end. Slip stitch, next space here, next space here, and slip stitch. So go all the way to the end of your piece, slip stitching on down. So I've made it all the way down to the opposite end, my last slip stitch, and then I want to chain one. Now once I've chained one, that's completely together. I want to pull out a lot of yarn. I want to have enough to go around, and if I'm putting a hat, putting the pom-pom on there, I want to have enough to where I can go through the whole hat and my pom-pom. So now I'm going to pull all of this through. So I got to make sure I cut a good amount before I do this. And then I'm just going to pull this close at the top. Now I'm going to take and turn my hat on the correct side. And here you can see where our join is. Well, you can't see it, and that's the point. Your join shouldn't be so recognizable. So I'm going to pull my string all out, and I'm going to get that yarn needle, and I'm going to put this in through my yarn needle. Now I simply want to take and put it through just the tops, going all the way around the edge of the hat. So I'm feeding it in and out. Then every once in a while I'm going to pull it through, and we're going to close off this hat. So I'm feeding it around. The whole hat. And I absolutely love this hat. It's just timeless, and it really takes no time to do. This is totally a day hat. This is that hat when the kids come home and say, "Mom, I lost my hat." And you can sit there and whip up one before the day is over. And I've made so many of these because I just wanted to make hats and scarves. I'm so used to my bazaars, and I totally miss that. And I spend so much time doing hats and scarves for this time of year that I really couldn't get my mind around anything else. It was just make hats and scarves. And this one is just one that no matter what other one I do, I have to do this one because it's so universal, male or female. Like this hat, especially in this color, will work male or female. And we're just going in and out. In and out around the tops. Now I'm back to my beginning, and simply all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this. I'm going to pull it as tight as I can. to close that up. As much as I can. Now I'm going through the space over here, and I'm going to pull through yet again. Now you can see I have just a little space right here. Now what I'm going to do is just go back and forth through this space to close it up even more, the top of the hat. So I'm zigzagging. Going to go across one way and go across the other way, like a cross, and pull it tight. And just keep pulling it tight. Okay, I want to pull it until there is no hole showing at all. Okay, there's no hole. I'm going to do it again though. So I want to make sure my top is secure, just in case I am not putting a pom-pom on it. Let's stick our hand in our hat. And as you can see, I can't get through. That is secure. Okay. Now, if you are not putting a pom-pom on, you simply just make sure this is weaved in really good. Go ahead and weave this in back and forth. And then take it through the opposite side. Try to go in and pull through to the opposite side to tie it off. But you're going to tie it off the same way when I put the pom-pom on it. So for those who want the pom-pom, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to take my little fluffy pom-pom, and I'm going to put my needle through that little loop. And I'm going to go in, come out, and then I'm going to go back through it again. And I'm going to pull, then I'm going to pull all of it through. Because I'm the paranoid type, making sure nothing comes off, I'm going to go in again. And I'm going to go through that loop one more time. And now I'm going to go feed this in the inside of my hat. So let's go in the inside of our hat. And I'm going to pull that through. Okay, so now we are totally in the inside of our hat. Now, if you did not put a pom-pom on, you would have just went through to this side of the hat. And that's it. So now I want to make sure everything is secure. I don't want my pom-pom coming out. So I'm just going to weave this in a couple spots. Now you see that we have, this is where we began at, and when we ended, that part was still hanging there. I didn't weave it in, um, and that was for this purpose right here. I'm going to now cut this, and I'm going to take it and tie it right here. Okay, that means nothing is going anywhere, and yet and still I could still take these two ends and just weave them in to secure them down. And I'll do that off camera. I'm gonna do that off camera, but then I take these two ends and weave them down. That way everything is fine. We have our little fuzzy ball there. Look at that. Now remember, this hat folds. Let's fold this hat up. And where's our slip stitch? This is why we slip stitch instead of doing a chain all the way down, because that part is up, but it looks like one of the ridges that are already there. Okay, and that is our hat. Now there we go. This is our hat. We got a little pom-pom. We got a nice size cuff right here, and I love this color. It has these little, every once in a while, like flexes of white in it. And this is our hat, and our little pom-pom, and I absolutely adore this hat. So remember, if you want it to be shorter, you're just going to chain less, and it should come out shorter. And that's it. There we go. Easy, quick, ribbed hat with a pom-pom. All right, everyone. Again, thank you for creating with me and coming to join me on the corner. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the corner.